Let's have a look at our question 3. Becky is actually getting quite good at selecting all these questions. I think it's because Pendile actually, Philippine actually helped him with the selections. That's why you'll see we've got such a wide variety today. Okay, we've got diagram 1 and 2. So before much further ado, let's have a look at what they are. Can you see we've got single chromosomes here? So that means that diagram 1 is going, and they're pulling away. So the minute they pull away, can you see there's a gap here at the equator? So if they're pulling away, what is the away phase? It is anaphase. Now, which anaphase is it? Well, there's a single chromosome here, so it is anaphase 2. All right, they look like little worms. And in diagram 2, we've got a single row of chromosomes at the equator here. And if it's a single row of individual chromosomes, we know, first of all, it's in the middle. And if it's in the middle, we know that it is metaphase. Okay, but which one? If it's a single row, it is metaphase 2. If it is a double row of homologous chromosomes, it is metaphase 1. So metaphase 1 has 2 rows, and metaphase 2 only has 1 row. And that is how you remember it. It's the opposite. Okay, now let's do our labels. Here, you see, I told you they ask the same things over and over and over again. There is your centriole, and coming from the centriole, we have our spindle fibers, okay? C is your spindle fiber, and B is your centromere, and D, now this is not a homologous chromosome. Can you see that? It is just going to be a chromosome. Now, what are we going to see on this chromosome? We're going to see we have a chromatid. So each one of those is a chromatid, and they're held together by a centromere. People, you must know, centromere merely holds the 2 chromatids together. Okay, centriole is near the pole. That's how you remember it. So centriole, pole, centriole, pole. 1 centriole on the left pole, 1 centriole on the right pole. Centrioles are for poles. Centromere merely holds the chromosomes together. When you've got 2 sets of chromosomes, one from dad, paternal, one from mom, maternal, they are homologous chromosomes because they are similar in length, size, their centromere is in the correct position, and they carry the same genetic information. All right, your spindle fibers are going to come, look here, from your centromeres, and they radiate inwards towards the pole. So they always go from the pole, from the pole to the equators. So those are your spindle fibers. They ask this over and over, and this is 5 or 6 marks every time that you get for nothing. Okay, right, now. Identify the phase of meiosis represented in diagram 1. Well, I've written it huge there. It is anaphase 2. Why anaphase 2? Because we have our single chromosomes being pulled towards the poles. They are being pulled away from each other in different directions. Okay, then identify part A, B, and C. Quickly zip it up here. A is the centriole and B is the centromere. So centriole, centromere, merely holds the chromosomes together, centrioles near the poles. Alrighty, and what was the last one? C. So where's CCC? Spindle fibers. Alrighty, now state what happens. So state, they want you to tell them. State what happens to structure D in the next phase of meiosis. So the next one. If we look at D here, what is the next phase going to be? You go from metaphase 2 to anaphase. Remember, it is PMAT. There's your mnemonic. Prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Prophase, prep phase. Metaphase, middle phase. Anaphase, the away phase. Telophase, the terminal or end phase. You cannot forget that. Okay? So, when they say what happens after this, metaphase, D, what happens to this chromosome? It is going to be pulled apart. That's what's going to happen, because one half is going to go this way, one chromatid, and the other chromatid is going to go in that direction. So, let's have a look here. So, state what happens. The chromatids separate at the, what holds the two merely holds the chromatids together? The centromere. Okay, so chromatids separate at the centromere as it splits. So the centromere splits and chromosomes are going to move one this way and one that way. Right, name the process during which genetic material, so we want that genetic material is exchanged as shown in the diagrams above. So now if we look here, the genetic material has already been exchanged. Can you see here? And then there's exchanging here. That's swapped with one and that. So you've got this here, look. That's a little piece of mommy, that's another piece of mommy, that's another piece of mommy, and these are pieces of daddy. So we have a recombination of the maternal and paternal genetic information. Remember, as that during crossing over, you're going to have at the chiasma, the crossing over takes place as genetic material, as your DNA is swapped between the paternal chromosome and the maternal chromosome. Swaps it, and what you're left with are unidentical gametes at the end of the day. Alrighty, after telophase 2. Then, name this process. Well, that's easy. We've just told you it's crossing over. And I'm just going to put in brackets here to remind you with a little star, is that this is prophase when 1. Why? Because, people, there is no crossing over during prophase 2. They don't need to. You've already swapped genetic information. Why would you want to do it again? It's done. Okay, so prophase 1, you have crossing over. Prophase 2, no crossing over. Okay, metaphase 1, your chromosomes line up as a double row because they're still homologous chromosomes. And in metaphase 2, they line up as the individual chromosomes line up as a single row. In anaphase 1, your whole chromosomes pull to the opposite poles. They pull away. Anaphase, A for away. And during anaphase 2, what are you going to see? You're going to see the chromatids pulling apart to the separate poles. All right, you've got to remember what each and every one is, the difference between them. State the consequence. If the process named in 3.4, so this crossing over process, does not occur, well, you're going to have it will reduce, so reduces genetic variation. Okay? Or you can say you have less genetic variation. And why do you still have variation? Because during metaphase 1 and metaphase 2, you are going to have the random arrangement of those chromosomes at the equator. And you're going to have, for chromosome pair 1, the maternal will go this way and the paternal goes that way. For chromosome 2, paternal goes this way, maternal goes that way. For chromosome 3, the other way around. Chromosome 4, the same. It is random. Okay, they just both go whichever direction they want to. So there's no set thing that all the paternal go to one pole and all the maternal go to the other pole. All right, it's random. Okay, then for question 3.6, it says, give the number of the chromosomes present in. So we want the number of chromosomes, the original parent cell of this organism. So in order to establish that, we need to find out what our chromosome number is here. Now remember, if this is metaphase 2, you have karyokinesis has already taken place. So we're now sitting with a haploid cell. And this haploid cell has how many chromosomes? It has 1, 2. So which means if it was diploid, so if one has 2, then diploid would have 4 chromosomes. So what is our answer? Our answer is going to be 4 chromosomes. Okay, and then a human cell in the same phase as shown in diagram 2, all right, that means in a haploid phase. I'm going to just put that in brackets here. In a haploid phase, because remember we're dealing here with metaphase 2 and anaphase 2. So we've already in the haploid phase. Karyokinesis has already taken place. We've got one set of chromosomes. Okay, so when they ask you here, in a human cell, in the same phase, so as diagram 2, which is metaphase 2, how many chromosomes will we have? We will have 23. Why? Because it will still be in the haploid. Because it will be haploid. We've got 46 chromosomes, which are the 2 sets, one from mom, one from dad. And that's what makes us diploid. Okay? If we make a sperm cell or an egg cell, we must halve that. So when we take the sperm and we take the egg and we join them, we end up with a normal one like us again. Okay,